Well, folks, I'm finally back, and just in time for me to talk about the recently announced MCC Party 2 teams. This event is in celebration of MCC's 5th birthday, and it's actually pretty crazy that it's already been 5 whole years. Feels like Season 1 was only a year ago. Well, for me at least. Anyways, that's enough nostalgia for now. Without further ado, let's just get right into these amazing teams. Alright, so first up we have the Red Rabbits with B-Dubs, Cubfan, Orange Juice, and PeteZahHutt. Hey, this is a pretty strong team to start out this event with. We have Pete, who I think knows most, if not everybody on this team, and so I think the chemistry here is not going to be immaculate, but it's going to be pretty darn good, because I know Pete and Cub are like an iconic duo at this point in time. Like, they've teamed so many times together before in MCC, and I think Owen and Pete have teamed before. If not, I think they're going to get along perfectly fine. I know B-Dubs is pretty good friends with Cub, and then I think he also knows of Owen and Pete, so he's probably going to do good as well. And overall, this team's going to have a pretty fun dynamic, and I think at the end of the day, they're going to do pretty well. I think Pete's going to be able to lead this team pretty well, and I think they're going to end up getting top 5, but I don't know where. Maybe right just outside of the top 5, actually. Maybe like 6th or 7th. I'm really interested to see what they do, though. I hope they can get top 5, but if not, then they're probably going to end up getting like 6th or 7th. I don't think they're that bad, actually. I think this is a pretty strong team. I'm probably going to put this team in 6th for right now, but I could change that down the line. You'll have to wait till the end of the video to see my final predictions for this event. But right now, I'll give this team 6th place. Next up, we have the Orange Ocelots with Antfrost, Gem, Impulse, and Smager. Oh wow, this is actually a pretty darn good team, I'm not going to lie. The teamwork here is going to be immaculate. Gem, Impulse, and Scott all know each other very, very well. And Ant, along with Scott, knows Gem and Impulse pretty darn well as well. And Ant, I think, has teamed with everybody on this team before. Maybe not Impulse, but I think everybody else he has teamed with before. So, yeah, this is actually a very strong team that could actually end up squeezing their way into dodgebolt. I could see a dodgebolt appearance from this team. It really does depend on the game order for this team, though. Like, this team, I don't know if they have a really strong game or if they have a really weak game. I don't know. I feel like they're kind of in the middle for most games. I think their best game would probably be like maybe a Sands of Time. It'd probably end up being Sands of Time. And their second best game might be Battle Box. I don't know. It's really hard to gauge how good this team would be at PvP, because I know Ant's really good, but the rest of the team, you know, they're not the best or most known for PvP, so I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, but I think for right now, if they get Sands, and Sands is in this event, and it's kind of, you know, later down the roster, I think this team could do pretty darn well. But hopefully we can see Ant get back to dodgebolt with this crazy team. Next up, we have the Yellow Yaks with Dr. Gluon, Purpled, Sneak Snag, and Goomy. A really freaking good team all around. We got Sneak as the second frag, I would assume here. Purpled as, you know, the quote-unquote S tier, and of course he's the S tier. He's one of the best players in MCC history, but yeah, Purpled is gross, and usually Purpled ends up doing very well on teams like this, and I could see this team actually kind of popping off. I know Sneak's been doing good in recent events, and Goomy, I don't know when the last time Goomy's played, because I didn't watch the Halloween MCC, but I'm pretty sure, wasn't Goomy in... No, Goomy wasn't in the Rivals, right? But she wasn't in the Halloween MCC, was she? But I don't think Dr. Gluon has. I don't think Dr. Gluon's played in one of the more recent ones. I could be totally wrong, but I'm pretty sure he hasn't. Unless I'm forgetting. I don't know. I might be forgetting like a half Simmers team or something like that in one of the more recent events. But yeah, nonetheless, this team's still going to do pretty darn well. And I think maybe this team could end up getting like 5th. I don't know. Is that too hopeful? It might be a little too hopeful for this team. I really like this team. I think they can do really well, and I hope to see them, you know, doing well in most games. Like, I would say, you know, they're probably going to be stronger in, like, a Sky Battle because of Purple's leadership, but we'll have to wait and see, and I can't wait to see how Purple does with this kind of team in this event. Next up, we have the Lime Llamas with Beckymon, Hannah XX Rose, Cara Corvus, and the Orion Sound. Very solid all-around team here. We got Cara, who's been doing really well lately. We have Ollie, who's also been doing really well lately. And, of course, Becky and Hannah as a duo returning again. I don't know. I don't know if this team is as strong as it looks. I don't know. It really all depends, I think, on how Ollie and Becky play. But I think overall, this team's just going to be a really fun team to watch. Like, I think this is going to be a vibes first team, and I'm all down for that. I'm really excited to see how they all kind of gel together. But I think it's going to be, kind of similar to the teams where, like, Hannah and Kara have teamed in the past. Like, Block Wars team that they teamed with all the way back in like this summer. I think it was in like July or something like that. They teamed together in a Block Wars team. I think it was an all-woman team for Block Wars. I could be wrong though, but yeah, that team I feel like it's gonna give off similar vibes to that Block Wars team. But I guess we'll have to wait and see on event day. But for right now, I would say this team, and I don't think they're gonna get top 5 sadly. But maybe they could pop off in a late game or two and sneak their way up there. But it's really all going to depend on how Ollie and Becky want to play this tournament, and we're going to have to wait and see. Next up, we have the Green Geckos with Flip, Scar, JoJo, and PeteZahHutt. Ooh, I actually really like this team. I think the JoJo and Scar duo is really awesome. I think it's really funny. I like how they communicate, and I like how they play together. I really like Flip on this team too for some reason, and then Phil, I don't know, Phil kind of feels like a random little throw into this team, but I love Phil in MCC. I think he's really funny, and I really like actually how he rounds out this team, even though it feels a little random. I think him and JoJo, I don't know if they've ever teamed before. No, I feel like they haven't. No, they might have once, like a while ago, but I feel like JoJo and Phil haven't teamed before, so I'm actually really excited to see how this team does. I think Flip, he's already come back in recent events and played pretty well, so I think actually this team could do pretty decent, even though, they might not look like a PvP team. JoJo is really good at communicating in PvP games, so they might do really good in like a meltdown, or maybe even in a sky battle of sorts. So we could see that, and that'd be really fun to see this team pop off and get top 5, and maybe even sneak their way into dodgebolts. But for right now, I definitely think they are top 5, and I think they are going to get probably 4th, maybe 3rd. Next up, we have the Cyan Coyotes with Aquino, Captain Gato, Shadoon, and Soaring. So, from my knowledge, Shadoon and Captain Gato, have teamed before like multiple times, but then Soaring and Aquino might both be new. Guys, I know I'm a little rusty to these team announcement videos because I haven't done one in months, but Aquino, I'm 99% sure is new, and then Soaring, I don't know if they're new. I also don't know, is Soaring, are they a English speaking streamer and content creator? Because from what I've seen on their Twitter profile, they look to be English speaking, but they could be bilingual. And then Aquino, I know, is also, I think Aquino, I'm pretty sure, is Spanish, like Shadoon and Captain Gato, but I guess it doesn't really matter because Shadoon's teamed with English streamers before in the past, and he knows how to communicate with them. And so, really interesting team. I don't know how good Aquino is. I'm pretty sure from what I saw on Twitter, Aquino's pretty good, so maybe we have a really good team on our hands. I don't know, Shadoon's been popping off lately, leading his teams to dodgebolt, so we could see another Shadoon team sneak their way in, or even get first place like last event. You never know. But I'm really interested to see how Shadoon leads this team. Yeah, I really have no idea where this team's going to rank on the overall final rankings. So I guess this team is just going to be a little, fun surprise. They either do really well, or they're probably going to do really bad if they don't do really well. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, though. Next up, we have the Aqua Axolotls with Bad Boy Halo, Kara, Feinberg, and Red Velvet Cake. Ooh. Now this, I don't know. Are they nerfing Feinberg here? I don't think they are. I think this is a pretty solid team for Feinberg to be teamed with. I don't think they're, terrible, but they're also not like, really, really good. I think they're like pretty solid in the middle. I think if Red's not going to get 6th, Red might get a little bit higher than 6th. Red might get like 5th or 4th. But like this team might be a smack dab in the middle team. Just because of how good Feinberg is as a leader and as an individual skilled player, this team might get like, middle of the pack, straight up like 5th place. I don't know. I like that they put Bad Boy Halo and Kara back together because, they're good friends. And Velvet and Fine, I don't think I've teamed before, but I don't think Feinberg's teamed with either Kara or Bad Boy Halo. No, he might have teamed with Kara before, but I don't think he's teamed with Bad Boy Halo before. So, gonna be a really cool team to see how they do, and will they get their party on and win MCC Party 2? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, though. Next up, we have the Blue Bats with Captain Sparkles, Fruitberries, Shovel, and Skizzleman. Bringing back the Fruit and Sparkles duo. Love to see that. And then Fruit and Shovel also have become a duo, I feel like. You know, they've teamed before, like, what, like 3, maybe even 4 times? They've teamed before, like, quite a few times. And then Skizzle, you know, he's kind of off and on with MCC. He'll play, like, every other event or every 3 events. But love to see Skiz on a team like this. I feel like he's going to do really well fitting into this team's kind of, like, you know, follow Fruit and let Fruit kind of cook mentality. But I think Sparkles and even Shelby at times will be able to step up and do pretty well for this team. So I'm really liking this team's dynamic, and I think they have a good shot at doing, you know, pretty decent. I think they either might get like dead last or they might get first. I don't know. I feel like that's the case with a lot of teams here. Like, especially this blue team, I think they could actually get like bottom 3 or maybe even top 3 if everything goes their way. I'm going to put this team in second place. I think orange is probably going to get first this event, but I think blue might be really close behind them. That might just be my bias, though. I don't know. Next up, we have the purple pandas with Ghosty Fruit, H-Bomb, Rendog, and Eloise. Ooh, H-Bomb leading a very interesting team. Love to see that Ren's back in the event. I know he has rejoined recently in one of the more recent MCCs, but I kind of forget what team he was on and who he played with. But love to see that he's, you know, kind of trying to come back more consistently now. And then Eloise and Ghosty, I'm pretty sure are good friends. Are they? I don't know. I don't know if they're part of the same friend group. But, you know, Ren, of course, is one of the hermits. So H with the hermits, you know, following that trend. It's not looking too strong, but it is looking like a pretty cool team because it feels like these players haven't teamed before. So it's going to be cool to see them, you know, team, I guess, for the first time. I think a lot of them are teaming together for the first time. So that's cool to see. And, yeah, it feels like an experiment team in a way. But I don't think they're going to do good. They're probably going to get bottom 3, sadly. But I'll still probably tune into H's VOD after the event and, you know, see what's going on with this team after the event. But I guess we'll have to wait and see how good this team really is, and are they better than I am going to predict them, because they probably will be by my luck. And last, but certainly not least, we have the pink Parrots with Grian, Inthelittlewood, Smallishbeans, and Solidarity. Hey, we got the Lords back at it again. What is this? This is the first time they've teamed since MCC 8? 7? Was it 7 when they teamed? I think it was 7. It might be 8, but I'm pretty sure it's 7. But wow, this is a really cool team, man. Oh my gosh, this is gonna bring in so many viewers. Grian's probably gonna break 10K again. You know, Joel, Solidarity, and Inthelittlewood are all gonna have crazy viewership. This is gonna bring in crazy viewership. I think MCC knew what they were doing by putting together the bad boys for last party and then putting the Lords together for this party. So, hey, they know what they're doing, all right? Noxcrew, Scott, they cook with these kinds of teams, all right? Scott definitely knew what he was doing with this last pink team. So, really cool to see them back together again, and it's just going to be a bunch of jokes and vibes, really, man. I mean, this team is probably the best team when it comes to vibes out of every team here, and because, you know, they're such good friends, and yeah, I think people would genuinely pay to see a POV like this every single event. Like, I'm being so dead serious, and yeah, they could just make so much money because so many people loves watching these guys play together, and it's awesome because their POVs do not disappoint. Alright guys, so really quick before the video ends, I just wanted to give you guys my current MCC Party 2 team predictions, which have a good chance of being totally wrong due to me being out of the loop for a little while, but I'm still gonna try anyways. In 10th place I have the pink Parrots, in 9th place I have the purple Pandas, in 8th place I have the Aqua Axolotls, in 7th place I have the lime Llamas, in 6th place I have the yellow Yaks, in 5th place I have the red Rabbits, in 4th place, I have the Cyan Coyotes. In 3rd place, I have the blue Bats. In 2nd place, I have the green Geckos. And of course, in 1st place, I have none other than the orange Ocelots. Anyways, guys, that's gonna do it for this team predictions video. Make sure to let me know which of these teams is your favorites and why down below in the comments, because it's always interesting to see what you guys think. Also, while you're down there, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. But until next time, peace.